Welcome back to another episode of Hot Mess Espresso. She hosts the morning show called 5 More Minutes. She is a TikTok sensation and she is better known for one of her quotes being "It's manifesting." Look it up. We have Anna Przy on the freaking podcast today. Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So let's just dive right in. You got on TikTok. How the hell did you go from just getting on TikTok to being probably one of the better known TikTok creators?
Yeah. I didn't intend to do that. Like,
Right.
I don't know how many people go into posting content on TikTok, like, being like, "This is gonna be my job one day." And I just was doing, like, trends and stuff. In 2020, I lost my job, and I went into a really terrible depressive episode, and I, was in that mode of, like, I have nothing to live for.
Mm.
Um, so I The other thing is that my husband and I were long distance from 2019 to 2023, and so I was alone. So I just started making, like, videos. I just wanted something to do, and it was like learning a new skill or something. Like, people took up, like, knitting and crochet or embroidery or something, and I just took up figuring out how to edit videos. And for me, that was the fun part at first, like trying to do, like, transitions and, like, weird, like, dance trends. And the more comfortable, I would actually say addicted, the more addicted I got to being on TikTok. It was all I wanted to do. And also, because I'm a human, that instant gratification, especially when you're going through a really terrible depressive episode, is, like, very hard to walk away from.
Right.
And the more comfortable I got, the more I actually started talking about me. Mm, and I actually started doing that on lives, not in my content. And
Mhm.
I've never talked about this on a podcast before. I I kind of forgot about it, but I was going live every day
Mhm.
at lunch, and I created this, like, group of 30 to 50 people who every day were on live with me at lunch, and that's kind of how we, like, grew to being comfortable telling people about myself.
Right.
And then these same people, like, we started playing games together and talking, and it was mostly, like, the feedback I was getting within the lives where people were like, "You need to do this, like, you're very funny, like, why aren't you doing this?" And so then I started posting more and more because I knew I had those people from the live to, like, hype me up
Mhm.
and be more honest about it. And then it was Thanksgiving of 2020. I said, "How do we tell them that we're never coming back to Thanksgiving because it's so fun at home alone where nobody makes you cry?" And I didn't think that much of it. It was like a quick thought I had because that was how
Mhm.
I felt. Because, yeah, Thanksgiving is always, like, this emotionally charged holiday where everybody's yelling and I'm crying in the bathroom. And it was that Thanksgiving of 2020, we stayed home, obviously, and I was like, "Oh my god. Could life be like this?" And that post went super viral. It was my first viral video. And I was like, everybody just wants to know that people feel the way they feel. That, like,
Mhm.
or to know that other people are crying in the bathroom at Thanksgiving, or to know that, like, this shit is so hard. And yeah, so I just got more and more comfortable. And yeah, then I did my first manifesting video in October of 2021. It was the first time I think I got over a million views. So I never blew up overnight, right? Because
Right.
we're like 2 years in, and I'm still just, like, kind of posting daily, growing. I was making these these morning routine videos in my car, but the morning routine, like, at some point cut to me screaming my lungs out, and, like, people.
Girl, same.
Yeah, and so it was just like I tried all these different little things to just kind of show that, like, this shit is hard, but, like, we're all here trying. And yeah, and it just sort of eventually they just started blowing up a little bit. I was super afraid to get on Instagram. That
Mhm.
was the other thing. But after I'd been on TikTok for over a year, I finally started posting over there. And that's kind of when opportunities started. Like, TikTok doesn't really present you without, like, people don't reach out to you from TikTok to be like, "Hey, do you want to do a live show? Like, or do you want to do any of these things?" But then the second I was on Instagram is when you start getting, like, messages from people like, "Whoa, I love what you're doing. Like, do you want to make this a thing?" And you're like, "What?"
Right.
And I think I still feel like I haven't blown up yet. I'm still, like, biding my time.
Right?
Even though I've
It's been
already
impressive.
turned it into a career, but it's still like it has been this slowly growing, morphing, and changing because my online journey is literally what I'm going through. And so
Mhm.
all that anybody like if they're like, "What is your thing online?" I'm like, "Oh, I've just been experiencing my life in real time in front of the world, and it happens to help other people." Like, I just happen to, yeah, be going through what you're going through, sharing about it, and making you feel less alone, and that's all it's been. And the other thing I like to say is that the person who my content saved is me. I changed my life. I deconstructed everything I ever thought I knew. Threw away the rule book, really, like,
Mhm.
that, like, they say, "You have to do it this way," and I was like, "Who's they?" Like, I'm they. Like, this
Right.
why can't I make it up as I go along? And then I just kind of somehow became this, like, anti-hustle culture, anti-type A, like, stop giving a shit what other people think about you kind of content creator, which is so unlike me of 4 years ago that it's kind of insane, but I really do, like, feel very zen in a way where I'm still very aware that the world is on fire and
Literally last
but I'm also like, "Hey, like, you can make up whatever you want, and your life doesn't have to look like anything you've ever seen before," and that's kind of how I go about my daily life, and then everything kinda stems from that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, did I answer the question?
I think you answered it perfectly.
I kind of forgot about those lives and little morning routines and stuff. I always, like, jump right to, like, the manifesting and the keep it up cutie stuff, but it's like, no, like, I really did get a year to play and kind of find my space in the
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like even like me with like the pod and then obviously my content on TikTok is, it can get a little messy, but again, I'm living my life in real time for everyone, like the good, the bad, the ugly, the slightly Jerry Springer end of it. But like that's the thing. Like I've pivoted over the last 2 years so much that now I feel like I'm finally like in my groove. And it's
Yeah.
like, I think you would agree with me that the amount of pivoting you do in that first couple of years and
Yeah.
finding your groove is the most confusing, just long-winded mind fuck ever. Cause you're just like, yeah, I finally like figured out. And then you're like, no, no, that's not it. No, no, we're gonna back to the drawing board. Let's go.
Yes, because it was also that, like, I never thought I would be redefining my life
Right.
ever, right? Like, I had resolved to be this person, and this was my job, and I was gonna work that job till I retired, and that was it, and I'd never I didn't even have Instagram, like, I didn't
Right.
have the internet, and yeah, to think, like, how hard it was to get to that place of saying, "I can do this." Like, it feels insane, but I can do this. Like, I can
Yeah.
make this work, and I can make being myself my job,
Yeah.
which sounds fake. It's like
So fake.
yeah, somebody asked me, they're like, "How are you so like, how do you do it?" I struggle, like, getting online and like, putting myself out there, and I said, "If you make your platform being who you are, there's not a lot of trying involved." Like,
Right.
I mean, besides having to be online and having to deal with the internet and
Yeah. No, the internet's so fun. But like, yeah, and I completely agree with you because you see it all the time. I mean, these different creators and stuff, and I'm not knocking anyone, but the ones that kind of have the persona don't last very long. Like they last like a year and then they fizzle out. But
because
the
how
ones
tiring is that?
yeah, that's gotta be exhausting. Like
Yeah,
I'm
people are
tired being just me. I'm not adding an extra personality to that.
somebody asked me, they're like, "Oh, is it, like, hard to keep all of this up?" And I was like, "Keep what up?" My being myself, and they go, "This is what you're like?" And I was like, "What do you think I'm like?"
Yeah, no. I am just organically this much of a mess. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
no, no, it's not complicated to be exactly who I am. It is complicated to roll around on the ground, which is what I do now in my videos.
Yeah. I was gonna ask that. How did you wind up in your yard in a robe screaming affirmations into the universe? Like how did that come about?
I couldn't figure out how to express it. Do you know what I didn't have the words for it, but
Mhm.
I had a picture of it. Like, what does this feeling look like? This
Mhm.
feeling looks like a woman who's, like, barefoot outside screaming in her robe. Like, that's how I felt. And
Mhm.
so, the only way I could think to express it was to do that, and
Right.
I did it, and it went crazy, and I was like, maybe I bit off more than I could chew there with that one, and then that became the thing for years, and I haven't put my robe on in, probably a year. It's crazy to think
Yeah,
of.
I noticed that because I was like trying. I was going through your feed, just to kind of like see if anything like popped out for me because I've like I've shared the content before and didn't put two and two together until we were on our like
They're
prep
pinned, I
call.
think there's probably something pinned, but
Yeah,
yeah.
there is, but I was like, oh, she hasn't done that in a while. But like
Mm-mm.
that's the thing. Like you find you get something that's your brand, and then you
It's
kind
really
of
s
like branch
Yeah.
off from it.
It's very scary to grow and change and for people to be like, "I miss the manifesting videos," and I'm like, "Well, they don't feel right." I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie to you, and I don't wanna be dishonest and, like, if my entire platform is just me being myself, like, that doesn't feel like me anymore because a lot of those manifesting videos, like, I'm so miserable,
Mm,
and that's kind of the point of them. And like I've said, people will ask me in my live shows, there'll be, like, a Q&A portion at the end, and almost everyone I get asked, like, "Why don't you do the manifesting videos anymore?" And I'm like, literally all my dreams came true. I didn't even know I had dreams, first of
hmm
all. So then it's like, I found a dream and then it came true. So what am I gonna shout about? It doesn't feel
Yeah,
right anymore, and I feel really bad about that. But I don't mind reposting them. I think they're hilarious. And
they're
like
so funny.
I enjoy them as content, right? But it's like so funny to be like, but I don't want to put out new that content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like staying authentic on the internet is actually it's the easiest and the hardest thing there is because when you do pivot, people are so used to like one thing
Yeah.
and people don't like change.
No, and I don't wanna disappoint people, but I'm like, "Can you just try to enjoy this new thing I'm doing?
Yeah.
Like, give it a shot."
Like you follow me for me and me is doing this now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm rolling. I'm rolling constantly on the ground now.
I love it. Freaking love it.
Somebody goes, "This girl is always rolling." And I said, "ABR, always be rolling." It's the new manifesting, it's just rolling around
Literally.
in the dirt.
It's a grounding exercise.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Literally.
I used to be barefoot grounding in my robe, and now I'm just sort of
The whole body
grounding
immersing.
on the ground, yeah. It's just whatever feels right in the moment, and also,
Right.
because it is, like, this art form for me, right? It's, like, this self-expression, it's where I, like, get to go be so silly
Yeah.
and not worry like, people can see me when I'm doing all that, which is the funniest part, and I'm just like, "Eh."
I've definitely gotten some weird looks when I'm doing like a TikTok in my car and some old guy pulls up next to me and he's just like, "What the?" And I'm like, "Hi."
Yeah. Andy has banged on my window before when I was recording, and I was like, "Oh my god."
I literally was filming a TikTok Christmas Eve because something happened at my mom's house and like we had to go to Lowe's and get stuff because it's not a family get together if like something doesn't break. So we're like, I'm waiting for her in the car and I'm like, oh, I'll just like film some TikToks. And you can literally see in that TikTok where the light in my car goes on. Because my mom had opened the door and she's just kind of like staring at me because I'm literally like full blown like invested into this. Literally sitting there and I finish it. And it was like a really like weird nichey one. It wasn't even like just like a cutesy, like funny trend. It was like something having to do with book talk. So she's just like, she sits in the car and I'm like, thanks. We can go now. Like, you just gotta roll with it. I'm like, I'm not redoing this take.
It's the best.
Like, there's only so much daylight left. It's 4:30 on Christmas Eve.
Well, that's the other thing. Not that this is relevant to anything, but it is really
Pff,
stressful to know that I have to film all my content by like 4 p.m.
bro. Yeah.
I'm like, can we have summer back?
I film 90% of my stuff in my car because it's just kind of like I do a lot of my like carpool karaoke type things and all of that in my vehicle. But like, yeah, if I'm not in my car by 3 p.m., I'm like, well, shit, now I can't do it
Here's
for the
my
day.
prediction for you. I used to record in my car always. Everything I recorded almost was in my car for the
Hmm.
longest time because it's like a really safe. I don't know what that is. It's like super safe. I predict in a year you'll be screaming outside.
Probably.
You'll be
Most
rolling around
likely.
in public. I swear. Because I don't know. Yeah, I used to be like to my husband, I'd be like, I'm going out to the car to record. And he's like, okay. I didn't think anything of it. But now I'm like, oh, I don't record in my car anymore. That's so strange.
Yeah. It's amazing how things like kind of evolve like that. But obviously, like being on the internet and everything, how do you, I hate saying the word like fame because we're
Mm,
all just people.
Yeah,
just
literally.
kind of functioning. Like, I fangirl over an artist or two every now and then I'm like, wait a second, they're just like people. Like, relax, girl,
Right.
chill. But how do you handle like kind of like the pressure, especially dealing with like your own mental health issues? How do you handle kind of like the pressure of everybody like either having something to say or, leaning on you for like stuff and like almost feeling like required to like or
That's a big one.
obligated to kind of like be there for people and respond and and stuff like that. Like, how do you handle that, and how do you handle the guilt of like not being able to do that because you're a human being and there's only 24 hours in a day?
Yeah, that's a really big one, and it's super hard for me to balance it because I like being there for people, and I like being there for people in my DMs, and I like being there for people in my comments, and like, my favorite part about this entire thing has been community, and yeah, and so it is hard when especially if someone's like, "You never replied," and I'm like, I want to, like, I need you to know
Right.
how bad I want to, and I want to be there for all of you, but at some point, you really just have to watch the content because that's what it's there for, and that might sound impersonal, but at the same time, it's like, I am just one person.
Mhm.
It I am really lucky that I tour a live comedy show now, and, I just do meet and greets after, but I also am, like, a downfall at that because I talk to everybody for too long, my meet and greets take way too long, and you can tell the staff at every venue is like, they're
Right.
just supposed to take a picture and go, and I'm like I give everybody, like, 5 minutes, and they're like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, but
But that's the best part for me. That was literally the reason I knew I had to quit my job and become a full-time content creator was when I left a string of live shows last year. I was like, "Nothing will ever make me feel like this again."
mm,
And I can't go back to not feeling like that. I can't go back to not knowing, like, everybody's heart and knowing that there are this many spaces in the world that, like, want me in them and, like, that I want to be in because everybody in them is so supportive. I'm really lucky online. I don't know how or why I have created like a pretty darn magical space. My comment section is the nicest comment section on the internet. I don't know how, like, I every day I'm grateful. So, because I'll get comments too where people come in, they're like, I came to this comment section like ready to defend you. And every single person was already being nice. And I'm like, yeah, I built this group of really nice people and I don't really, I'm grateful that I did that. It's a labor of love, but
mhm.
it is all just people who wanna be there and also a heavy-handed block button.
Yeah, we love the block button over here. Oh my god, it's a godsend.
And even now so, obviously, I'm branching out because that's what you have to do if you wanna make this your job, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so I am on Facebook and YouTube heavy, and I have even gotten my Facebook into some pretty nice territory. It took
Your
a year.
Facebook?
It took about a year, but I finally when I go to the comments, it's not terrifying. I know.
How did you do that?
I think you just, like, keep interacting with the same people and you keep just
Mm,
like, people only post that shit because they want you to see it, and it's like, I'm gonna delete it anyway. So,
yeah.
this isn't for you.
I troll back sometimes, but even then I'm just like,
I
ugh.
do too, because sometimes you're just feeling like you're in a sassy mood,
Yeah.
especially lately, like, it's been a yeah. Also, all these things I'm talking about, I'm like, this is, like, a month ago me. Right now, I'm hostile because everything is hostile, and there's, like, no saving grace right now, but
Well, I think Mars is in retrograde, which is not helping because that's like, the planet of war and anger and everything. So I think everyone's feeling a little hostile.
I am so hostile.
Yeah, I'm feeling it a little extra like spicy lately where I'm like, you know what? We're going to have a conversation and only one of our days is going to be ruined.
Do you know how I keep the peace lately? I haven't checked my YouTube or my Facebook in probably a week. I have
Smart.
everything auto set to post, and, I'll go in and check on it every once in a while, but in general, I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna let you guys fend for yourself because for me right now, I don't need to I can't be in there.
Right.
I can't be a part of it." So, I don't know, it's just knowing when to walk away and knowing that, like, this career will still be here tomorrow if you don't reply to that message, and this
Mhm.
like You have built this community. It is here for you. Even if 100,000 of them walk away tomorrow, like, you still have a community here, and just being okay with that, which obviously I go back and forth and lose my mind, but
Right.
because 'cause I'm a human.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, if I do get sassy, it's usually for fat shamers, and I put them on blast every time. I screenshot, post to my
Mhm.
story. You don't get any grace from me
No.
because it's so uninteresting. It's so lazy. It's lazy ridicule. Like,
Yeah. Be creative.
yeah, when they're like, "She should go for a run." And it's like, "Okay, I've run a 50-mile race. Have you?" Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, it just the keyboard warriors, like, it baffles me, especially, like, when I'm live, like, I get people in that are just sometimes I'll troll back, and then other times I'm like, "Have you left your mom's basement lately? Like, what the
Yeah.
hell is wrong with you?"
Yeah. I get super sad if, like, they have kids or something and they're fat shaming, and I'll be like, "Do you talk to your daughter like that?" And they're like, "My daughter knows better than to let herself, like, get out of control like you." And you're just like, "I am going to I don't know what to do."
I don't know why my kids don't talk to me. I don't know, Brad.
Yeah,
Why don't
exactly.
they?
Yeah, it's my kids will know better, and it's like, your kids will know better than to talk to you for sure.
Yeah.
But that's yeah,
Oh my god.
that's
I don't
life.
yeah. How did, well, I mean, obviously you were saying like your husband, you guys have been together since I think we set off camera 2012.
Mhm.
How
Forever.
was now, are you guys the couple where like you have the huge internet presence and he posts like once a year if you're lucky kind of thing?
Not once a year, once every 3 years.
Yeah. I swear to God,
If
it's like a type.
we're lucky.
Yeah, no.
But,
My
interestingly, he is chronically online, though. Like, for someone who has never posted, he is on the internet all day.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Like,
just
he's
because
like
they don't post doesn't mean they're not
yeah,
on there.
he, like, lets the YouTube run, like, 24 hours a day. Like, I don't even know what he's watching.
That is
But
my ex-husband.
golf videos or something, but no, he doesn't really know what I do on the internet. The other thing is that he tours with me when I'm touring, and he's seen my show once. He's usually out, like, in the lobby with the merch and just, like it's so funny when people are like, "What do you think about all this?" And he's like, "I don't know."
I mean, like, it makes sense. I just, like was it kind of, like, a little bit of a mind-blowing thing for him that, like, things just kind of I mean, it was a gradual change, but, like, things really changed, and now, like, a lot of people know you, and it's like
Yeah. None of it was permanent, right? And
right.
I think when you say gradual, that's kinda how it felt too,
Mhm.
because neither of us really thought this was forever.
Right.
It felt like, "I'm gonna do this one show in New York, and that's gonna be great." And then I did one show in New York, and it was great. And then an agent reaches out to you and is like, "Hello, would you like to go on a tour?" And you're like, What?"
Right, like, "Huh?"
And then you're like 30 shows in, and you're like, I think this might be my job." And, you know, he's definitely not he lives in reality. I always say
Yeah.
that. Like, whereas I sometimes live in delusion, he's like, "Hey, we still have to pay the bills." Like, I know you're having fun, but, like, he's like, "Did we lose money on tour?" And you're like, "Well, yeah."
See, what had happened was
I'm like, but I had fun. So, what do you think about that?" And so, yeah, it really was, like, when I did decide to leave, we just knew I had to have a plan, and so I made a plan, and, like, that was that. But, I mean, I just left my job 4 months ago, so it's not like it hasn't been too long of this, like, making it fully work on the internet.
how is that? Like, that how is that? 'Cause that's obviously recent.
It's a lot more PNC low threshold alerts than I was hoping for,
Mm.
on my bank account, and, I don't know. The money's so inconsistent, and I think if
Yeah.
anybody's like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this full time," it's just like, "Hey, just so you know, sometimes you won't have any money, and then sometimes you'll have too much money and you'll mismanage it because 'cause you're new at this."
Yeah. Yeah. People
No.
that get into this for the money, I'm just like, "What
Right.
money?"
Yeah. People will say all the time, like, "Well, can't you, like" what did I "Oh, we have 1 working vehicle right now," and someone's like, "Well, why don't you get a car?" And I was like, "Just
What a
kidding, a
novel
car?"
concept.
I was like, with my with what?" Don't you think I would get a car?
Yeah, just because you have a following on the internet doesn't mean you're, like, literally rolling in cash.
And you're like, "Well, where would that money come from?" Like, even I'll ask somebody, I'll be like, "When was the last time you saw me post an ad?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't recall you ever posting ads." Right.
There you go.
Exactly. So, no, that's why I have the morning show. I mean, more than one reason, but, like, that is my steady income now. I just decided. I was like, "I'm going to have a morning show." And it's like, "Do you have any qualifications for that?" No, I sure don't. But
No.
I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna set up a studio, and I'm gonna record a daily morning show. And I think it has, like, 300 and some subscribers, which is awesome.
Hey,
It's behind a paywall, so that is my
even better.
steady income now. Yes, which is great. And it helps me because I have to write an episode every single day,
Mm,
and it's so good for my brain. That's the thing about my content, is it's never going to be draining because it's always going to be growth. Everything I'm
mhm.
doing is helping me learn and grow and change into a healthier mental person who, like, still obviously has the worst days ever, but in general, it's like, "No, I have to write this Healing from Trauma Tuesday episode today, and we have gotta talk about it," and so it's kind of like forcing myself into daily therapy all the time, so it's
Yeah,
good.
there's that. Like, I also feel like as creators and stuff like that, like, we're almost not allowed to have bad days because, we're like mental health advocates, but then we're like, "Hey, we're not doing so great." And people are like, "Okay, cool. When are you posting XYZ?" And it's like, "You want me
I'm
to be authentic. I'm not doing so hot."
Yeah, I'm so lucky because my community is, like, happy to see me anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I think I posted a couple weeks ago that it was just, like, sad cloud brain time, and everyone was like, "Yeah, girl."
Yeah.
I was just like, "It's just sad cloud brain times, and, like, I'm sorry, I can't get up." And I will preface in my morning show if it's a poopy poop mood day, like,
There you go.
"This is a poopy poop mood day," like, I have nothing nice to say. And I think that's part of it. I think that's why I'm successful is because I do have this full range of whatever I'm going through in the moment. I get myself in trouble sometimes because I have a fast finger, and I'll say stuff I'm not shouldn't say,
Nah,
but
we all do.
at the same time, it's like if somebody it doesn't and that's the other thing, this does not happen that often where someone, like, comes and yells at me in my messages.
Right.
It's, like, once a month. This last time they were like, "Oh, I guess you must not be like that happy girl you portray." And I was just like, "You came in my messages, like, and yelled at me. I owe you my kindness. Like, what are you talking about?" I don't know.
Girly
That's the hard part.
portray. Like,
Yeah,
I
and
don't
I'm
get
like,
when they're like,
first of all, it's not a portrayal. It's just like some days I'm happy girl.
and other days.
I'm sad girl.
Yeah. I will, like, kinda clarify and say that, like, the community I built over the last, like, 2 years has been phenomenal, and, like, if I'm not live for a couple of days, I'm immediately getting a DM from at least 3 of them being like, "Are you
Are you
okay?"
okay? Yeah.
You know?
I love that part when people are like, "We haven't seen you. We haven't heard from you." And you're like, "Thank you for noticing."
Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing, like, the messages I got, like, on the, gaslighty TikTok ban that happened a couple weeks ago,
Mhm.
like, the messages I got, I was just like, "Oh, shit, I've actually, like, built a community," and that actually, like,
Yeah.
helped my confidence when it came back, and I was like, "You know what? I can be proud of this." But it's really, like, just if you've posted, like, a couple sad videos in a row, and then you get, like, the random chat in your comments that's like, "Well, if you just, like, don't think about it," and I'm like, I didn't think about not thinking about it, Chad, thank you."
Just calm down.
Like, have you just thought about not? It's like, "Oh my god, really?"
Yeah. I get really the other thing that I have to really be okay with is that I know that, like, if I was in a bad place, some of the time, some of what I'm saying would be hard to hear.
Mhm.
People are actually I've gotten, like, really nice messages from people where I am having, like, a bad week, and it's, like, every day there's, like, a I'm having a bad week video, and
Mhm.
I had someone message me recently, and she's like, "I love you so much." She goes, "And I just don't want you to be offended that I'm gonna unfollow you right now." She's like, "But I'm just not in the space to, like, be consuming this kind of
Right.
dark energy." And I was like, "I love that you explained it. You didn't have to. But I also get that. And I also get the people who aren't ready for my content. I get people all
Yeah.
the time and they're like, "This is such unhealthy messaging." And I'm like, "I would have agreed with you 5 years ago."
Yeah.
I would have agreed with you that slowing down and resting and walking away from hard shit and taking the easy route was wrong. But you're and maybe someday you'll be ready to hear it. But if if you're the kind of person who needs that messaging, it's like it can change your life.
Yeah. Sometimes you do just need to like cut corners on something that isn't going to long term like screw you over. But
Mhm.
like if you can cut corners somewhere, cut the damn corners. This hustle
Yeah.
culture and this whole like just drowning in obligations thing is, I'm so glad that we're kind of like moving the pendulum into more like self-care, taking care of your
Yeah.
mental health, drinking your water, touching grass, like get off your phone, read a book. Like that's the movement where I'm, at least I'm kind of seeing more, but like that hustle culture, it gets you, especially when you're like first starting out as like a content creator. You're just sitting there like, I cannot sleep at all. I need to be doing all of these things. Like I need to do this, need to do that. And it's like having to sit back and go, I can't do it all was actually a really hard pill for me to swallow.
Mhm. You can't do it all,
No, you
unfortunately.
can't.
And there will never be enough time and you will never have enough energy. So you have to kind of either accept that or just like work within that limitation that like it doesn't all have to get done. It especially doesn't all have to get done today. Uh it's just like, hey, what's gonna happen? What's worst case scenario? Like
Literally. Well, and like
and
we're one person, like we don't have a team of like,
mm-mm.
you know, editing and this, that, and the other thing. Like, if it's on YouTube, it's because I put it on there. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know, the last thing I want to do is fuck around with YouTube because it's confusing and I wind up crying because I just can't do it. So it's like, that's just my corner I'm cutting right now. I would
Repurpose that.
love to put my videos on here, on there, but right now it's just the audio and we're going to roll with that because it's something.
Oh my gosh, not to give everybody the life hack of all the life hacks, but repurpose.io is literally posting all my content for me. I finally am hands off. It's $350 a year, which is super expensive, but
If you
yeah.
think about it, it's less than $1 a day.
Yeah, and I literally don't have to do anything. It's just taking all my old content and posting 2 or 3 a day from TikTok and Instagram onto YouTube and, Facebook.
That's smart. Because YouTube Shorts is like blowing up all of a sudden.
Yeah, and so now I have 3 videos going up a day that I don't even know what they are.
And you're just like, it's fine.
I
I
mean,
put it
they're
in the
my
vault.
content. I obviously believed in them. Like,
Right.
it's like,
So, like, to kind of circle back a little bit, what is your morning show about?
yeah,
Because it's called 5 More Minutes, which I
yes,
love because I am literally the 5 more minute snooze girl.
yes. I'm like the 5 more hours snooze girl, but
Yeah, same. I'm like that thing goes off for an hour. I
yes.
don't know how my ex-husband from the other room has not killed me yet because that was happening like when we were in the same room. But yeah.
Mhm. It's called 5 More Minutes, Your Cure for the Morning Snooze. And it drops at 5 a.m. So it's like the idea is you whenever you wake up, you would watch
Mhm.
it, and it ends like the end of the show is like your cure for the morning snooze or not. Like you can go back to bed or get on with your day. That's kind of the it's like a it's like a little permission. It's like a little 8-minute permission to live your life the way you want to live it. But it's 5 segments, so it's like the first segment is the theme. So it's like Motivation Monday, Trauma Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Think About It Thursday, and Fuck It Friday. And then a daily dose of Prism, which is literally just like one of my videos. I transcribe it and I read it.
Mhm.
And then What's the Moon Up To? We talk about the moon.
Yeah. The
It's a
goddamn
comedy
moon.
segment. It's a comedy segment because I don't know anything about astrology or astronomy. So it's like a very fun minute for me where I am like, there's something going
Right.
on with Venus. She's doing a thing. And then
Amazing.
yeah, and then you ask, I try to answer. It's just I answer questions, and then the thing of the day is something you have to do today. So it's either like brush your teeth, drink water, brush your hair. Sometimes we'll do a repeat after me with like some silly affirmations, but in general, it's just a way to start your day with like a little chaos and a little fun and a little motivation sometimes. But yeah, I'm loving it. It's been really fun for me. Uh, it's kind of really helped me to become a fan of myself as well. That's a weird one because my
It
content
is.
yeah, because to me, like, my content, I almost don't know like, what's going on in it because when I edit it, I'm almost not even watching it, whatever. But the morning show, when it's just, yeah, 5 minutes of me, like, staring at myself talking, I'm like, "Wait,
You
you're so good at this." And I get to do that every day where I'm like, "Whoa, you're getting better." And, like, that too, like, there's, like we're on episode 70, so it's been, I mean, only 70 days, but still crazy to just kind of see it morph and become this thing and kind of trying to grow the community. It's like a little slow, but we have a Discord and we're like kind of getting there, but it is nice. It's like this kind of same group of people. And I just, in the comments every day, because it's on Patreon, so it's like,
Mhm.
it's very like exclusive in a non-exclusive way because
Yeah.
there's a free membership option. But it is nice to just have this space every day where people are like, needed that, like, or whatever it is. And to hear
Yeah.
people who are like, "It was a go back to bed day," like, yeah, like, "I watched it, and I'm going back to bed," and you're like, "Yeah, perfect."
Yeah, that's what you need today, like, you need to go back to bed.
Yes.
Fantastic, we love it.
Yes.
No, I totally get that. Do you, like, a severe side note, because you were just talking about, like, you know nothing about the moon and all of that.
Mhm.
Have
I
you
mean,
s
I'm learning a lot, and
Right,
now I also am, like, getting better even after just 70 episodes, like, of, like, knowing the patterns of the moon and stuff. It's like, "Oh, okay." Like, once you know stuff, you're like, "Oh, it's not as elusive as I thought it was."
right.
Like, yeah.
But no, I was asking because, like, have you seen the one guy on TikTok that, like, he does the parody tarot card readings?
Oh, no.
Oh my god, I'll have to send him his stuff to you because it's hilarious. He just, like, did it as, like, a funny video one time, like, your
Yeah.
ex is a piece of shit and, like, pulling up the things and, like, just giving whatever the meaning was because obviously, like, the TikTok tarot card readers are just always like, "He's coming back," and it's like, "No, he actually sucks, thank you." But, you know? So I was like that's what reminded me of it is just, like, just having fun with it.
Mhm.
Like, just not being so fucking serious all the time.
Yeah, and it was like I used to always like my friend and I used to joke like when we were having a bad day or everything felt off. I was like, "What is the moon up to?" And so I used to say that all the time. So now the segment is, "What's the moon up to?" And then like, yeah, it says like,
I love it. No, I'm into, like, that witchy astrology stuff too, and I'm not, like my sister's a little bit better on the whole astrology thing, like, she's got everyone's, like, birth charts down to the, like, what their 12th house is in and all that shit. But, like, it's so funny because I will randomly get text messages from, like, my friends, and they're like, "Is Mercury back in the microwave again?" Or, like,
yeah,
they're like, "What's in retrograde this week?" Because, like, everything feels off, and I'm like, quick Google search, "Oh, it's this one," because I don't know.
yeah, and it's also like stuff I don't know. When they're like, Mars is square with Earth, and I'm like, the Mars and Earth are square dancing. Like we got because I don't know what that means. Or when it's like the trines or stuff, I'm just like, I
Yeah.
always just say something. I'm like, something's going on.
Yeah. I'm
I
just
don't know
like
what it is.
"Mom, Mercury's back in the microwave again."
Yeah, we have, like, more retrogrades than I knew.
I know.
They're
I thought it
constant.
happened, like, once every couple years, and now apparently it's every other day. I'm like, "When did
And
that happen?"
they can all be in like, Jupiter does it too.
Yeah. Venus is in retrograde, and then they're like, "The full moon in Scorpio, the full moon in Aries." Full moon
Oh,
in Aries,
yeah.
by the way, can literally kiss my ass. I never wanna see a full
We
moon in
just had
Aries
one
again.
recently.
I know, and it was
Yeah.
awful. It was
Yeah, that's
terrible.
my moon. That's my girl. I also call her Lady Moon in the segment.
Lady Moon.
Yeah.
I love
Lady
it.
Moon.
So, yeah, you can catch the morning show on, like, Patreon.
It's patreon.com/AKPRZY. Everything
Perfect.
is AKPRZY. I'm
I love
at
that.
AKPRZY on every platform you could possibly imagine exists. Clapper, Lemonade, Own, Neptune when it comes out, Blue Sky, all the things.
Are you on Red Note yet?
I am, of course. Any app you can possibly imagine, I downloaded it. Flip. Can't figure out how to post on it, but I have it.
Yeah, I keep seeing, like, flip ads on my For You page, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" Like,
Every
everyone's
time
like I'm so old because, like, they're like, have you heard of flip?" And I'm like a flip phone?" Like
every time I see those Flip ads, I comment, "Can someone tell me how to post on Flip?" I'm like a old lady in the comments on Facebook, like, "Google recipe."
Oh my god, have you seen the vintage recipe guy? Speaking of
Yes, yeah.
my
He makes,
god,
like, the water pie and
the
all
the
those
frickin'
things.
lamb tuna.
Yeah, there's I don't know what people were up to with their
I
food choices.
I'm guessing it was like depression era shit where it was like you found everything and scrounged it together. It was like basically the original Chopped.
Yeah, but why was everybody mixing things up?
Why
Like,
is everything in Jello?
everything's in Jello.
I just
Gotta keep it congealed.
so like if you vintage recipe man, I think his name's Evan. I cannot remember. It begins with an E. But like if you're ever listening to this, just know that you have made mine, my sister, several family members, a lot of my friends' days. Every time you post one, we are immediately sharing it out and dying of laughter. Like
Yeah,
it's just those like little things where, and like same thing for you, like those little things that just become your niche and you don't even realize it like is going to explode the way it is.
yeah. Or the things that people will, like, associate with me, and I'm like, "You associate that with me?" It was like when so now everybody's always like, "Are you the vacuum lady?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I am the vacuum lady." Like, "What?"
I know. It's like everyone's got their little like moniker nicknames.
Yeah,
Like Badge 502, that everyone doesn't know him as Badge 502. They just know him as the EMT guy. And like, the objects that look like they should not go in your body anywhere. And then he's just like, come here. No,
nothing
no,
should
no, no.
go in there.
Yeah, no, no, that is an exit. Thank you.
Flared base.
Flared base. Like it's got to be extra flared because you never know if it's a little flared. No, we go big with the flare.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Go big, go big, or you're going to the ER.
I'm glad that the internet has made sure we all know about a flared base.
It's really for our own safety, okay? Because
It so is. It really is.
I can't tell if there's not enough warning labels in life or if we just need to remove them all and see what happens.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know either. The
Also,
chaotic part of me is like remove the warning labels and see what
but a warning
happens.
label is also kind of like a
It is. But then half the time you're looking at him and you're like, this is common sense. Who did this so that now there's a warning label?
yeah, somebody did that.
Because 9 times out of 10, it's not somebody thinking ahead. It's because somebody fucking did it. And
Mhm.
now they have to put a label on it.
Yep.
And you're just like, I don't even want to know why that's there. I don't. Like, Google is free, but it ain't that free. No, I don't want to
I
know.
don't know. Google right now with the, like, AI stuff is, like, getting very chaotic to me.
Dude, it's scary how much like all of that kind of like listens, like your phone is always listening to you and stuff because like my friends and I were talking about like Jerry Springer and then I was on Facebook and all of a sudden my reels went from whatever they were to all of a sudden every third video is a Jerry Springer flashback and I'm like
Yeah. I was watching a lot of Say Yes to the Dress last May, and then all of a sudden my whole FYP was Say Yes to the Dress, which actually was awesome because I was like, "Yes." I'm a hyperfixator.
I love me some Say Yes to the Dress. That show was
So
the shit back in the day.
yes, it was, and we rewatched it, and then, like, I was dying because then all the time I'd be like, "It's a panina.
Yeah, it's a peanut.
It's gotta be the panina."
I literally this was back when I was like late teens, early 20s when that was like at its heyday. And I was like, I just want a peanut tournay. I just want a peanut tournay. And then like I got married and I was like, I'm not spending that much money on a dress I'm wearing for 8 hours.
Yeah, so
Absolutely
much
not.
jewels.
Mine was on sale at David's Bridal and then it wound up being $800 total with the alterations. And I still feel like I spent too much money on it. I was like, I wore it for
Mhm.
a day. What? These girls are
Exactly.
spending like $15,000. And I'm like,
Yeah, and your
it was like
husband rents a
90%.
tux.
Yeah, they
He
rent a
returns
fucking
it at
tux.
the end of the day.
Do you know what you do with your $15,000 wedding dress? It goes in your closet, and 3 years later, when you're going through it, you're like, "Oh, I should probably get that washed." And then you spend another $200 on dry cleaning and put it in a box for you to go through your house every couple of years, purging, and look at it and go, "Why the am I keeping this?"
I know where my wedding dress is.
Mine is literally in this closet right here still
I
because I haven't gotten rid of it yet because like
got it washed, that's for sure.
yeah, it's gross and everyone can judge me, but like it's literally the day I took it off and it went in here, it's been there since. But I'm probably just gonna wind up like getting it dry cleaned and then donating it to like a hospital or something because I'm divorced. And also, even if I was still happily married, I'm never gonna wear it again.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be that size again. Like you're always that size because of the stress and anxiety.
literally. I was always like, I didn't even have to try to lose weight for my wedding, and then it's like, "Oh, girl."
Yeah, that wasn't healthy. It's because 'cause you're so freaking stressed
Yeah, you're
out.
like, that was the most busy, like, you've ever been in your life."
I literally was like, "I want a cone of silence after this day is over. Nobody gets to ask me anything. I don't even care if it's what do you want for breakfast can surprise me because if I get asked one more question, I'm gonna cry."
Yeah, people wanna talk about how miserable it is to have a wedding.
Yeah. Everyone's like, "Are you so excited?" No, I wasn't excited. I was
Yeah.
excited to marry him, but I was not excited for the day. I was so tapped out. I did not want to plan anything. I wanted to run off and elope. He wanted the wedding and then participated 0. But as all grooms do, they're like, "I want the big party." And then they're just like, "Yeah, everything's great. It's nice." And it's like, "I need your opinion. Like you wanted this. Like you
Yeah,
plan it."
yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah. But yeah, like, that's the thing. Like getting married's not fun.
There you go. This is our PSA to you.
Yeah, it's not like anybody that wants to guilt you into saying that, "Oh my god, it's so magical," and you don't even remember the day because you're getting pulled in 18 different directions and you spend $30,000 plus on a
Mhm.
day that you're not even actually really there for. You feel like you hallucinated the whole thing.
And you might end up in the bathroom crying with your dress on the floor.
Yep, that's the thing too. We took such a left turn on this.
And then I came out of the bathroom and my cousin's like, "Oh, your wedding day's not about you. I should have warned you." And I was like, "I know that now."
Yeah, that's like the it's magical, it's beautiful. By the way, it has nothing to do with you. It's everyone else that's there and their opinions. So have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it's about them. And I
Yeah.
didn't realize that it would not be about me at all.
Yeah, you spent thousands of dollars to have to emotionally regulate for hours and deal with
Yes.
family that you're just like,
Yes.
that's
And
fine.
they wanna dance with you and they wanna hug you and they wanna talk to you. And you're like, "Whoa, I haven't seen my husband yet today."
Literally, oh my God.
You're like,
Ever-
"Did I get married or?"
Yeah, like I'm like, he's over there. I'll wave.
Literally. Yeah. This is this is a warning.
Yeah. We're not saying don't get married.
We're
Just
saying
don't.
just hire somebody to be in charge
Yeah.
and do a receiving line. That's what
And
I'd say.
honestly, the receiving line, I wanted to do the receiving line and I got vetoed. But yeah, I just don't take wedding planning so seriously because at the end of the day, it's just a fucking day.
I thought I was like, "No, I don't wanna do a receiving line. I wanna say hi to everybody." And you're like, "Anna, you're dumb.
That is
That was
saying
a
hi to
bad
everyone.
idea.
They have to walk past
That
you.
was a bad idea." Because then it was like every single person was pulling you, and you're like, "Oh, no. I do not like this."
I literally don't even I didn't even see half our wedding guests. When we got our photos back, I was like looking at my ex-husband and I was like, "Babe, who is that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's my cousin." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't meet him." Because
Mhm,
we were just pulled in 3,000 different directions. I
mhm.
met one of our wedding guests a year later at a mutual friend's birthday party. I was like, "Oh,
And you're
hi.
like, "Oh, were
Thanks
you
for
at my
coming, by
wedding?"
the way."
Amazing. Incredible.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Love it.
Oh man, we this took such a left turn, but I knew this was going to be a blast.
That's yeah. People don't people don't ever ask, you know?
No. Oh my god. But yeah, so we can find you all over the damn place. You're still on
Oh, yeah,
TikTok.
that's where I was. I'm at AKPRZY, Red Note, Threads, I forgot, the rest of them. All
Yeah.
of them, literally, Clapper. Like, what is Clapper? I
I
don't
don't
know.
even know.
I'm on there.
It gained popularity like a year and a half ago for some reason, and I think it was when they started like really cracking down on like live stream.
Oh. Somebody told me, they're like, "Oh, I clapped back one of your videos," and I was like, "What's that? What is that?"
Yeah. Everyone's like, so and so requested to follow you on Lemonade. I'm like, I don't even have a Lemonade.
Yeah.
What do you
I
mean they
have
requested to follow me?
also, I didn't know that if you make a Substack to follow a Substack, then everybody knows you have a Substack.
God.
Everyone was like, "Oh, I saw you're on Substack," and I'm like, "I'm on Substack?"
I don't even know what Substack is. Like,
It's like some app.
I I can't get with the times. Can't we just stick to the same four?
I'm not hip with the groove. I'm trying
No,
though.
I'm not. I can't.
It's very good for me. I'm not gonna get dementia because I'm gonna keep my mind active and sprightly for so long.
I'm pretty sure I'll be fine because I have ADHD. So I just,
And I floss my teeth.
you floss. That's excellent.
Flossing has a lot to do with dementia. Just thought I'd let you know.
No, it makes total sense because your gum health, your gums literally. I mean, people have had
My
heart.
mom's a geriatric doctor.
I've just literally heard that, like, your gums can actually literally affect, like, cardiac and stuff like
Mhm.
that because it's, like, directly and that's why everyone's like, you gotta make sure your gums are healthy.
Yeah, my husband and I are, like, weirdly obsessed with flossing, and we're like, "We're not getting dementia."
This is also your PSA that that's why your dentist tells you to floss all the time. It's so that, like, you don't have a heart attack or, like, your brain doesn't go weird.
Yeah, take your meds, drink water, floss your teeth.
Yeah, take your damn meds. Please take your damn meds.
I didn't, but I will
Ugh,
when we
I
leave here.
literally choked my Wellbutrin down right before I rolled in here because I was like, "Oh, shit, I didn't take my meds."
I wanna be a Wellbutrin girly so bad.
I wanted to be a Lexapro girly, but
Oh,
Lexapro gave me, like, crippling migraines.
Lexapro made me miserable.
Yeah, no, I started on Wellbutrin because the ADHD meds just make me, like, panic. So, it's off label to, like, help you focus a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I got on it and I was like, "Ooh, this also, like, helps improve my mood because like, I didn't realize how sad I was."
I take a med for focus, not very often because I can't sleep when I take it. You're
Mhm.
like, "Great, what a cool side effect." And I
Yeah.
went to see a doctor recently, and he goes, "Oh, what are you on metformin or whatever it's called for, weight loss?" And I was like,
No.
what?" I was like, "I have ADHD, my guy." And he was like, "Oh, sorry." And I was like, "That was so rude."
That's just oh my god.
I was like, "That's the rudest thing I've ever heard," and you just, like, flew by it. Anyway, that's just more to go
Yeah,
with
foot in mouth, holy
the
shit.
world and their obsession with bodies. Your body's the least interesting thing about you.
Oh, I know.
I'm just leaving you with nuggets at the end here.
I know. But, like, also that's the thing, like, women can go in for, like, health issues and they're like, "Have you tried losing weight?" And it's like, I don't have any more weight to lose.
Like, I don't want to. How's that sound?
Yeah, like,
I'm not in the mood.
I can promise you it has nothing to do with my weight, doc. Can we, like, actually get to the root of the problem?
You're like, "It's been bothering me since way before that.
Yeah.
So, how about we talk about it?"
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, my god.
Well, we could go on for really
We really
days.
could. I feel like we need to wrap this, but, like, also, this has been the most entertaining hour of my life.
This is good. It's just a yap sesh.
I know. I knew this was gonna be fantastic, like, from our prep call, I was like, "This is gonna be so much fun." But, yeah, Anna, thank you so much for taking the time out. I cannot wait oh, one more question. What's next? Do you kind of have, like, a plan of what's next?
Yeah,
What your
I
next goals
mean,
are?
obviously, I gotta finish out the year of the morning show and then decide what to do with that, like, because
Mhm.
it is a little bit unsustainable.
Mhm.
But I'm going back on tour in March, so I'll be all I know so far is Cleveland and Nashville, but I know there's, like,
Oh,
some
you're
more.
so
I just
close to me.
don't have dates yet. And then if you, randomly are listening to this and have any connections to the cartoon world, I would really like to write, my own cartoon about me.
That would be amazing.
That's, like, the goal. And other than that, I know I'm just gonna keep trying to grow on the web and succeed at something while not putting a lot of pressure on myself. Easy.
Absolutely. Just don't take life so seriously. So
I have a Tamagotchi in my hand, and I was spinning it over here.
no, I have all these, like, little mini fidgets that, like, I usually am, like, playing with, like, under here just so I'm either that or, like, I'm swinging my chair and then I'm like, "That's distracting," so I usually have, like, a little mini fidget that I'm just, like, fucking
I
around with
know.
down
I'm
here
so fidgety.
because I'm
That's why
like,
I banged my head into this microphone, like, 3 times, and I kicked my computer. I was like, "Anna, you gotta just sit still."
I can't. I literally cannot.
She can't sit still in class.
Yeah. I wonder why. But yeah, no, if you ever tour out in, like, Western New York with your comedy show, like, just
Yeah.
know I will be
I
there.
I am trying to go to Buffalo because all of my Toronto people want me to do a show in Toronto, but for some reason I can't. I don't know the rules. And I'm like, "Would you drive to Buffalo?" And so that's like I'm always like, "Can I please get a show in Buffalo?"
Yeah, please and thank you because I will make that hour drive to come see you.
Yeah, I'm like, or like anywhere over there, anywhere near the border, please.
Anywhere. So, but yeah, Anna, thank you so much again for coming on, taking the time. I cannot wait to see what's next for you.
I know. Me either.
Yep, follow her on all the things. Obviously, she's hilarious, so her comedy show is going to be like mint. So I cannot wait. Cannot wait to see where that takes you.
Yeah. Just come. I don't know how to explain it, so you just have to see it for yourself.
You just got to see the chaos in real time.
Yeah, it's I don't know how to explain that show. And like, I don't know, it's like storytelling sort of. Just come.
Yeah, just do it. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, girl.
Thank you.